Hello and welcome to the second edition of Bhopal Design Festival 2024, hosted and curated by Jagran School of Design. I am Radhika Sakalle in conversation with Miss Sonia Manchanda, an award-winning designer and a co-founder of Spread Design. She has worked on major projects including the Commonwealth Games Delhi 2010 and has been recognized as a game changer by the Metropolis magazine. We heartily welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
So, ma'am, as I was reading about you, I got to know about your Dream In project, where there's a shift from people's need to their dreams. How do you adapt? How do you think the design outcomes come through it, especially in emerging economies?
First of all, congratulations for doing your research well.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Most people don't bother, and that's the first sign of a designer that you actually want to know deeply. So, the Dream In project was really looking at, where does design start from? And, in the West, we've been told that design starts from people's needs or whatever, that's what we've learned, right? But our context is a little bit different. What happens is when you look at, taking people's needs and making them, making them obvious to people, what happens is we take products and we make them smaller, versus, so that's why, like, for instance, if you take like biscuits, and in America you'll have gigantic packs. Here we'll have a pack of two, and smaller packs of everything. And you see the garbage in our country, and especially the small water bottle. One thing I'd like to tell all of you is that don't ever accept that small water bottle. It is the starting of garbage. It is the starting of waste. We had a culture where you would give water to everyone who came to your house, and now we are buying small water bottles. So rather than make products smaller, what we need to do is make aspirations bigger. This was a realization that I had, and I said, so maybe that's what we need to do. We need to ask people what are their dreams and help them focus on those dreams and make their aspirations bigger in emerging economies, so we can skip some of the mistakes. Some of the I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that, the Nikes, I need all of that, and just focus on the aspirations and make them bigger and bigger, and we are a nation of entrepreneurs. It's the same with Brazil, it's the same with some of these nations. So let's stoke that culture. Let's give people the systems to dream, believe, and realize, because design, after all, is about systems, right?
Yes, ma'am, truly. So, as you have worked with many global and local brands, from Commonwealth Games to the Indian design initiatives, how do you navigate through your design process, and how do you create an outcome to cater to different audiences?
So, now for the past year, I'm also an elected board member of the World Design Organization. And therefore the responsibility is bigger. And the benchmarks we create, all of that, it's very, very important that we are able to look at complexity, we are able to look at systems, we are able to look at flipping problems, because problems will always be there. Flipping problems into opportunities. And that's what design does very well. I'll give you a simple example. Yesterday, somebody sent me a picture of a millet burger being served in McDonald's. And that work actually started in Karnataka. Today, if the Prime Minister takes a picture with a bouquet of millets, which is a rather bizarre idea actually if you think about it. It was something we created in Karnataka to tell the world, for one quinoa, we have 9 varieties of millets, and we created a movement which is Let's Millet. Your generation cares a lot about FOMO, so we created FOMO. Nobody knew, nobody cared what was millet, so we created FOMO. That, we said, let's millet, and people are like, what's millet? How come I'm not part of it? I want to know, and but actually, the very deep and serious problem we were solving was the problem of farmer suicides, because the lowest strata of farmers are actually the ones who suffer because of drought. And the minister actually promoted the growing of millets, because millets are climate smart, naturally organic. Before we were farmers, we were foragers, And so to bring that back, but there was no market. So our work was in creating a market for millets. When that was done, the UN noticed this and created a year of millets.
Millets, yes.
And our Prime Minister noticed it, and it became a new food solution for the world. And the call was really first, it's good for your health. It's good for your children's health because you care about that, right? Good for your health. It's good for the farmer. It's good for the planet, and that was the order.
Yes.
Because if I tell you, oh, farmers are dying, please eat millets, you feel sad and you turn away from that which is sad.
True.
But on the other hand, if I look at go deeper, like you went deeper, go deeper, and you realize that there's something here which the world can do with in a changing time when people are falling sick because of all the chemicals they're consuming along with the food, because of the rising prices of organic. So really you look at the impact. Focus as much as you do in your work on output, focus equally and if not some more on the outcome. What is the outcome? I'm doing something, what's the outcome? I have responsibility. So that responsibility, which is what I said, for me comes as being part of WDO, but in my head I was always part of WDO. I'm always part of trying to make a difference in the world, and that's what we need to be as designers.
Yes, as a designer, need to change.
Yes.
Okay, so my next question is around the inclusivity part. Like, as you have worked in different teams, so how do you integrate inclusivity into interdisciplinary teams to bring out, keeping in mind all the social, economical, cultural prospects of that society, to bring out a meaningful outcome?
So one of the things we need to do is sometimes the design process has been overly simplified, and maybe in our context we need to look at it a little bit differently. So we've created a tool where we look at individual psychology. Okay, so we'll look at personas. Individual psychology, then we look at group behavior. How does this group behave? And we look at community cultures, and community is a way to integrate. So that's one tool. Another tool would be like ideascaping. We think about who are all the various stakeholders. So be it like when we are designing the airport in Goa, we are looking at how do we get an India, which is in Bhopal, in Indore, even farther out, to come to Goa, to want to come to Goa. What is the benefit we can give them? So, for instance, one of the things we've done, because there is surge pricing in tickets, right? So suddenly it becomes so expensive to travel. So to differentiate the Goa airport, which is a brand and airport and experience we've designed, the new Goa airport, which is called GOX, we created something called the GOX Pass. Okay, along with our clients. So, we work together. So, it's how do you co-create together? So, we've created something called the GOX Pass, where working with businesses in Goa, and so you're including the businesses even outside the airport, businesses in Goa, giving discounts to a passenger who flies through GOX. The boarding pass becomes a discount card. So, you can actually get. So you may be from any part of India, but you get in there and you get a discount across any of the many outlets in Goa, and you may actually make your own ticket free because of that.
Okay.
So this is systems thinking, and systems thinking could be at the level of farmers, or we've had to do this at the level of behavior change around wastewater sanitation across rural Karnataka, where there is no Facebook, there is no Instagram, and at best there are some families have smartphones. So getting the message out there, we've used like the walls as medium to communicate what is good behavior, what is not. So the medium, the walls where somebody may go out to do their business, that medium became the message. So one has to, it's systems thinking, it's ingenuity, it's feet on the street, having a knowledge of what's out there, it's outcomes thinking that you need to have.
Thank you, ma'am. It's really important. Ma'am, with your extensive experience in healthcare, retail, and education, how do you see UX grow in these industry after the pandemic, in this post-pandemic world?
So, you do realize that voice is going to become very important, right? And I think that is something you need to keep in mind as UX designers. So, that voice is very important. The changing nature of human beings, we're impatient, we want quick answers. That relationship that you strike up with the chat GPT, all of that is important. I don't know if you know, but there's something called August.ai. August.ai, you can actually on WhatsApp communicate with it as like a doctor.
Oh.
And so even doctors are using it to get a second opinion.
Oh.
So you can actually say, I'm so and so age and I have this issue, or give me a diet that works for me, and it advises you. So that responsiveness, the voiceness, the almost human-like ability that we are beginning to expect, the impatience we have, I think all of that is very important.
So, ma'am, my last question is, as we are going to go into the industry, any advices that you have to keep in mind and have, as a young designer, to have a more sustainable approach for designing?
So, okay. One, realize that what you need to take away is a learning mindset. What you need to be is wise, and that wisdom is from always having an eye on what's going on. And there's so much to learn from our indigenous knowledge systems. There is so much deep knowledge there. If you pull that out and, you ask, why did we do things a certain way? Why can't we do them again that way? So be part of this, there is a perpetual dance of creation.
True.
Day changes to night, flowers open. There is this around you. There is so much to learn from nature. You are nature. So be adaptive, be responsive. Know that you can be the catalyst. And that's what you're going to go out there and do. You are the catalyst to make people realize through your imagination that there is something that you need to create every day. Create what is new, what is more meaningful, preserve what's important, and destroy the unnecessary. Sometimes people know that this system is redundant. We need to be able to destroy it. You're the catalyst who can do that. So be the catalyst out there, enablers. You're not standing alone. Your role in society is to be the choreographers of the dance of creation, not just the witnesses to that. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was
Most welcome.
really inspiring. I am Radhika Sakarle with camera person Nitin Patel. Keep watching us on Lake City Live.